the Secretary of Energy, Granholm, she is responsible for this area of regulatory matters. And last year, she was testifying in front of the Senate. The highly regarded senator from Massachusetts, Senator Elizabeth Warren, she was grilling Secretary Granholm on when she was going to start collecting data from Bitcoin miners.
Secretary Granholm, when you came before this committee last year, I asked you if the federal government knew how many crypto miners are operating in the United States and how much energy they're consuming. And you said that wasn't being tracked and that more data would be needed. So here we are, a year later. Is the Department of Energy formally tracking crypto miners yet?
Great. First of all, thank you so much for your leadership in this, because I do think that you have unearthed a massive problem. And so we don't know how many miners there are. We don't know where they are. All of them, I mean, some of them you do, but many of them you don't. A lot of them are just underground. Some of them are small operators. So, as you and I have discussed, we have charged our Energy Information Administration with figuring out how to mandate a reporting of these entities. Now, that's complicated, as you know, because many of them are underground. And even the utilities may not know where the draw is coming from.
When was she going to send the form out and the survey? And that she had asked, Elizabeth Warren had asked Secretary Granholm to do this a year before. So this would be in 2022 that she was asked to do this. And Secretary Granholm was, I'll say that she did not seem to view this as an emergency at all. So
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Given that crypto mining undermines all of our other climate work, we can't afford to delay on this. There's a lot of urgency around this. So I want to talk for just a second about the authority you have to gather information on this. Let me ask Secretary Granholm, do you have the authority to mandate that crypto miners disclose information about their energy consumption?
We have the mandate authority.
Her response was that before we can create the form, before we can create the survey, we need to get survey data. It's very circular. We need to get survey data from another form that is currently being filled out by people, that's going to be compiled, and then we'll be able to create the next form.
So in your response to a letter I sent you in February, you indicated that the Energy Information Administration will first need to develop a new survey program to begin collecting information from crypto miners. By when do you expect to field this survey and use it to gather data from crypto miners on a mandatory basis?
Yeah, we first of all are looking at creating the survey from a regular report that is an electricity gathering report that we have now asked to include crypto as part of it. That report from NREL will be completed by the end of this year, on which the Energy Information Administration can base its survey. So it's going to take some time for them to be able to craft the survey from the information that they receive from the NREL report, but know that that is happening, and we are pushing to accelerate the timelines because it is.
So by the end of this year, you will have a report on mandatory reporting,
We'll have
I want to make sure I know what we're getting.
We'll have a report that will have gathered, not fully, but enough information to be able to craft the framework for the survey.
And Elizabeth Warren's like, okay, but are you telling me this is going to be in 2024? And Secretary Granholm was like, well, I hope so. And Senator Warren looks just enraged. She's like, I'm going to hold you to it. You got to get it out.
So we won't be able to get the survey out, the mandatory survey, by the end of this year, but we will have the report done, and the survey will be constructed from that.
Okay, and we are certain we're going to get that mandatory survey out then sometime in 2024?
I hope so, but I don't want to...
TikTok.
And she's like, this is an emergency because of the climate. This is the climate emergency.
I mean, look, we're running out of time here. Crypto mining's energy use truly undermines our efforts to fight climate change, and we are out of time. We need to understand the full scope of the problem, and that starts with the authorities you have. So I hope that the next time we come back, you will tell me that you now have that survey in place, and we are getting mandatory reporting from the crypto mining companies.
I hope so, too.
Going to hold you to it.
And that seems rather irrelevant to me, but I guess she thought that was relevant to whether this form comes out or not.